Men are moved by two levers only: fear and self-interest. Napoleon Bonaparte. Most people believe conversations are about exchanging information. They think that if they speak clearly and honestly, they'll be understood. They're wrong. Every interaction is a negotiation, a subtle dance for dominance and influence. People aren't just sharing facts, they're strategically positioning themselves, masking their true intentions behind carefully constructed personas. This isn't about blatant lies, it's about veiled agendas, the unspoken desires that drive their every word and action. We've all been in situations where someone says one thing but their eyes betray another, where a seemingly innocent question feels like an interrogation. That unsettling feeling isn't paranoia. It's your intuition picking up on the hidden currents beneath the surface. We teach you to see those currents, to understand the unspoken game being played. Most people wander through social interactions like lambs to the slaughter, completely unaware of the subtle manipulations happening around them. They react, we teach you to act. They guess, we teach you to know. They believe what they're told, we teach you to see what's hidden. It's time to stop being a pawn and start mastering the game. You will learn to decode the subtle cues, the micro-expressions, the carefully chosen words that reveal what people truly want. You will learn to anticipate their moves, to counter their strategies, and to control the frame of the conversation. This isn't about becoming a manipulator yourself. It's about protecting yourself from manipulation, about reclaiming your power in a world where everyone is trying to take it. The world isn't a friendly place. People have their own interests. Their interests may conflict with yours. Recognize it, acknowledge it, prepare for it, defend against it. Start today. Stop being naive. People wear masks and they're often very good at it. We teach you how to see through the mask, to discern the true face underneath. Because in the game of social chess, awareness is your greatest weapon and knowledge is your shield. So, prepare to see the world as it truly is, not as you wish it to be. The human mind is a labyrinth of motivations, desires, and insecurities, all vying for control behind the facade of polite conversation. To unmask hidden agendas, you must first understand the fundamental drives that shape human behavior. At the core of almost every interaction lies a desire for validation, for control, or for advantage. People crave to feel important, to have their opinions valued, and to exert influence over their environment and the people within it. This craving often manifests as subtle manipulations, designed to elevate their own status while subtly diminishing yours. Watch for the subtle digs, the backhanded compliments, the attempts to steer the conversation towards topics where they feel superior. These are all indicators of a hidden agenda, a desire to assert dominance and control the social dynamic. Furthermore, insecurity is a powerful motivator. People often mask their own feelings of inadequacy by trying to tear others down, by highlighting their flaws, or by exaggerating their own accomplishments. This behavior is often subconscious, driven by a deep-seated need to feel better about themselves. Recognizing this insecurity can be a powerful tool in unmasking their true intentions, allowing you to see past the bravado and understand the underlying vulnerability that drives their actions. Understanding the psychology of influence is also crucial. People are inherently susceptible to suggestion and persuasion, and skilled manipulators know how to exploit these vulnerabilities. They use techniques like mirroring, building rapport, and appealing to emotions to gain your trust and lower your defenses. Be wary of those who are overly agreeable, who seem to anticipate your every need. This feigned connection is often a tactic designed to disarm you and make you more receptive to their suggestions. Always maintain a healthy skepticism and question the motives of those who seem too eager to please. Look for inconsistencies between their words and their actions. Pay attention to their body language, their micro-expressions, and the subtle shifts in their tone of voice. These nonverbal cues often reveal the truth that their words are trying to conceal. A fleeting look of contempt, a subtle eye roll, a hesitant pause, these are all clues that can help you piece together the hidden agenda. Train yourself to become a keen observer of human behavior, to see beyond the surface and understand the complex interplay of motivations and emotions that drive social interactions. Remember, Everyone has a story, and understanding that story is key to understanding their agenda. By delving into the psychology of human behavior, you can unlock the secrets hidden beneath the surface and gain a deeper understanding of the true intentions of those around you. It's about becoming a student of human nature, recognizing patterns, and understanding that people are rarely what they seem. Consider the classic scenario, a job interview. You walk into a room, smile, shake hands, and sit down, believing this is a straightforward evaluation of your skills and experience. But the game has already begun. The interviewer, seemingly friendly and engaging, is subtly probing, not just for your qualifications, but for your vulnerabilities. They ask about your previous employer, your reasons for leaving, your strengths, and your weaknesses. These questions are not merely for filling out a checklist. They are designed to gauge your character, your ambition, your potential for disruption, and your willingness to conform. A skilled interviewer will use these answers to construct a profile of you, identifying your pressure points and potential weaknesses. They might subtly criticize your past performance to see how you react under pressure, or they might offer you an overly glowing assessment to gauge your level of arrogance or naivete. They are searching for inconsistencies in your story, looking for any sign that you are exaggerating your accomplishments or concealing your flaws. The interview itself becomes a stage, a carefully orchestrated performance where both parties are vying for control. You are trying to present the best version of yourself, while the interviewer is trying to dismantle that facade and uncover the real you. They might use techniques like the good cop, bad cop routine, where one interviewer is supportive and encouraging, while the other is critical and challenging. This tactic is designed to disorient you and make you more likely to reveal information you would otherwise keep hidden. They might also use silence, creating uncomfortable pauses to see how you fill the void. This pressure can force you to over-explain, to reveal more than you intended, to inadvertently expose your anxieties and insecurities. The hidden agenda is to assess not only your technical skills, but also your psychological resilience, your ability to handle stress, and your capacity to navigate complex social dynamics within the company. They want to know if you are a team player, a leader, or a potential liability. The seemingly innocuous questions are carefully crafted to elicit specific responses that reveal your true character. Remember, every word, every gesture, every micro-expression is being scrutinized and analyzed. The interview is not just about getting the job, it's about winning the game. Understanding the subtle power dynamics at play is crucial for navigating this social minefield and presenting yourself in the most favorable light. It's about recognizing that every interaction is a potential power play and being prepared to defend yourself against manipulation and hidden agendas. It's not about being paranoid, but being perceptive. It's about understanding that people often have ulterior motives and that the surface is rarely the full story. The trap lies in underestimating the depth of human calculation. It's in assuming that people are always operating in good faith, that their words reflect their true intentions. This naivete is the greatest vulnerability. The weak fail because they believe what they are told at face value. They don't see the strings being pulled, the levers being manipulated, the subtle shifts in power that dictate the outcome of every interaction. They stumble blindly into social situations, unaware of the hidden agendas that surround them like lambs to the slaughter. Their emotions are transparent, their thoughts easily read, their weaknesses readily exploited. They are predictable, and predictability is a fatal flaw in the game of social chess. The weak are easily influenced because they lack a solid internal frame. They are swayed by flattery, intimidated by authority, and manipulated by guilt. They crave approval and fear rejection, making them easy targets for those who seek to control them. They are so focused on being liked that they sacrifice their own interests and principles, ultimately losing themselves in the process. The weak also fail because they are reactive rather than proactive. They wait for things to happen to them, rather than taking control of the situation. They are always on the defensive, always trying to catch up, always one step behind. They are unable to anticipate the moves of their opponents, to see the patterns in their behavior, to predict their next strategy. They are trapped in a cycle of reaction, constantly responding to external stimuli without ever taking the initiative. This lack of foresight leaves them vulnerable to manipulation and exploitation. The failure stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of human nature. The weak believe that everyone is inherently good, that people are generally honest and trustworthy. They refuse to acknowledge the darker aspects of human behavior, the capacity for deception, manipulation, and even cruelty. This blind faith makes them easy prey for those who are willing to exploit their naivete. They are unwilling to see the world as it is, preferring to cling to a rosy-colored illusion. This refusal to confront reality is their downfall. Another key component of the trap is the inability to recognize and manage their own emotions. The weak are often controlled by their feelings, allowing their emotions to cloud their judgment and impair their decision-making. They are easily provoked, easily angered, easily saddened, and easily manipulated through emotional appeals. They lack the emotional intelligence to understand how their emotions are being used against them, making them vulnerable to those who seek to exploit their vulnerabilities. They wear their hearts on their sleeves, broadcasting their weaknesses to the world. The weak often fall victim to the illusion of control. They believe that they are in charge of their own lives, that they are making their own decisions, that they are immune to the influence of others. This belief is often shattered when they realize that they have been manipulated, that their choices have been subtly guided by someone else's agenda. This realization can be devastating, leaving them feeling betrayed, helpless, and vulnerable. The trap is sprung when they realize they were never truly in control. Further compounding the issue is a lack of self-awareness. The weak are often unaware of their own biases, prejudices, and blind spots. They are unable to see themselves objectively, to recognize their own flaws and limitations. This lack of self-awareness makes them susceptible to manipulation, as they are unable to recognize the ways in which their own beliefs and assumptions are being exploited. They are blind to their own weaknesses, making them easy targets for those who seek to take advantage of them. They are essentially operating in the dark, unaware of the dangers that surround them. Finally, the weak fail because they are unwilling to challenge authority. They blindly accept the pronouncements of those in positions of power without questioning their motives or intentions. They are afraid to speak out, to voice their dissent, to challenge the status quo. This deference to authority makes them susceptible to manipulation, as they are unwilling to stand up for themselves or for what they believe in. They are essentially surrendering their autonomy, allowing others to control their thoughts and actions. The subtle game of social dynamics demands vigilance and a constant awareness of the underlying motives at play. The Machiavellian approach to unmasking hidden agendas hinges on understanding human nature's darker aspects. It's not about becoming a villain, but about recognizing the potential for manipulation in every interaction. The first step is to cultivate a profound sense of skepticism. Never take anything at face value. Question every statement, every gesture, every offer. Ask yourself, what is this person really trying to achieve? What are their unspoken motives? What are they hoping to gain by influencing me? This doesn't mean becoming paranoid, but rather developing a discerning eye that sees beneath the surface. Look for inconsistencies in their words and actions. Do their claims align with their behavior? Are they saying one thing but doing another? These discrepancies are often telltale signs of a hidden agenda. Pay close attention to their body language. Nonverbal cues can reveal a person's true intentions, even when their words are carefully chosen. Are they making direct eye contact, or are they constantly looking away? Are they fidgeting or displaying other signs of nervousness? Are they mirroring your own body language, a subtle tactic used to build rapport and influence? These subtle signals can provide valuable clues about their true feelings and intentions. The Machiavellian strategist also understands the power of information. Knowledge is your most potent weapon in the fight against manipulation. Gather as much information as possible about the other person's background, their relationships, their goals, and their vulnerabilities. The more you know about them, the better equipped you will be to anticipate their moves and to identify their hidden agendas. This requires active listening and careful observation. Ask open-ended questions that encourage them to reveal more about themselves. Pay attention to their responses, not just to what they say, but also to how they say it. Look for patterns in their behavior and identify their recurring motivations. Furthermore, the astute observer must grasp the dynamics of power within any social interaction. Who holds the cards? Who is seeking to gain an advantage? Understanding the power dynamics at play can help you to identify who is most likely to be manipulating whom. Look for subtle cues of dominance and submission. Who is controlling the conversation? Who is setting the agenda? Who is making the decisions? These are all important indicators of the power dynamics at play. Never underestimate the power of flattery and charm as tools of manipulation. A skilled manipulator will often use these tactics to disarm their target and to gain their trust. Be wary of excessive compliments or overly enthusiastic displays of affection. These may be attempts to cloud your judgment and to make you more susceptible to their influence. Remember that genuine connection is built over time, not through superficial gestures. Cultivate a network of trusted advisors who can provide you with objective feedback and support. These individuals can serve as a sounding board for your ideas and can help you to identify potential blind spots in your own thinking. They can also offer valuable insights into the behavior of others, helping you to unmask hidden agendas that you might otherwise miss. Be willing to listen to their advice, even when it is difficult to hear. They may be able to see things that you cannot, and their perspective can be invaluable in navigating complex social situations. The Machiavellian approach to unmasking hidden agendas requires a constant state of vigilance. You must always be on guard, always questioning, always observing. It is a demanding and often exhausting task, but it is essential for protecting yourself from manipulation. Remember that the world is full of people who are seeking to take advantage of others. By developing a keen understanding of human nature and by mastering the art of social observation, you can protect yourself from being exploited and can navigate the complex social landscape with greater confidence and control. Finally, understand your own vulnerabilities. What are your weaknesses? What are your biases? What are your emotional triggers? A skilled manipulator will exploit these vulnerabilities to gain control over you. By becoming aware of your own weaknesses, you can take steps to protect yourself from being manipulated. Develop a strong sense of self-awareness and learn to recognize the signs that you are being manipulated. Trust your instincts and don't be afraid to walk away from situations that feel uncomfortable or unsafe. The greatest defense against manipulation is to know yourself. Just as military strategists study past battles to anticipate future conflicts, understanding historical power plays can illuminate the hidden agendas operating in everyday social interactions. Consider the rise and fall of empires, the intricate dance of alliances and betrayals, the constant struggle for resources and dominance. These grand historical narratives are simply magnified versions of the subtle power games that unfold in offices, at dinner parties, and even within families. The tactics employed by emperors and generals, deception, propaganda, divide and conquer, are echoed in the strategies used by individuals seeking to gain an advantage in their personal and professional lives. By examining these historical parallels, we can gain a deeper understanding of the underlying motivations that drive human behavior and learn to recognize the patterns of manipulation that have been used for centuries. Think about the Roman Empire, its expansion fueled by a relentless pursuit of resources and territory. Roman leaders skillfully employed a combination of military might and political maneuvering to subjugate rival nations. They understood the importance of controlling information, using propaganda to portray themselves as benevolent rulers bringing civilization to the barbarians. They also mastered the art of divide and conquer, exploiting internal divisions within enemy populations to weaken their resistance. These same tactics can be observed in the modern business world, where companies compete for market share and seek to undermine their rivals. A company might launch a smear campaign against a competitor, spreading false information to damage their reputation. They might also try to poach key employees from their competitors, weakening their capabilities and gaining a strategic advantage. The underlying principles are the same: identify weaknesses, exploit vulnerabilities, and control the narrative. War, in its essence, is a struggle for dominance, a zero-sum game where one side's gain is the other side's loss. Military leaders throughout history have understood the importance of deception in achieving victory. Sun Tzu, in his Art of War, emphasized the need to appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. This principle of deception is not limited to the battlefield. It is a fundamental element of social manipulation. A person seeking to gain an advantage might feign ignorance or vulnerability to lower their target's guard. They might exaggerate their accomplishments or downplay their failures to create a false impression of competence. The goal is to deceive the other person into underestimating them, making them more susceptible to manipulation. The concept of framing is also critical in both warfare and social interaction. Framing refers to the way in which information is presented, and it can have a profound impact on how people perceive a situation. In wartime, governments use propaganda to frame the conflict in a way that justifies their actions and demonizes the enemy. They might portray the war as a struggle for freedom and democracy, or they might depict the enemy as a barbaric aggressor threatening their way of life. Similarly, in social situations, individuals use framing to influence how others perceive them and their actions. Someone might frame their request as a favor to the other person, emphasizing the benefits they will receive rather than the cost. They might also frame their actions in a way that minimizes their negative consequences and maximizes their positive impact. By controlling the frame, they can control the narrative and influence the other person's perception of reality. Alliances are another important aspect of both warfare and social interaction. In wartime, nations form alliances to pool their resources and increase their chances of victory. These alliances are often based on shared interests or common enemies. However, alliances can also be fragile and prone to betrayal. When circumstances change, allies may turn against each other, seeking to gain a greater advantage for themselves. Similarly, in social situations, people form alliances to achieve their goals. These alliances can be based on shared interests, mutual admiration, or simply a desire for social acceptance. However, like wartime alliances, social alliances can also be unstable. People may betray their allies to advance their own careers, gain social status, or simply avoid being associated with someone who has fallen out of favor. Understanding the dynamics of alliances is crucial for navigating complex social situations and avoiding being caught in the crossfire when alliances break down. The study of history provides a rich source of examples of how power is gained, maintained, and lost. By analyzing these historical events, we can identify the common threads that run through all forms of social interaction and learn to recognize the tactics of manipulation that have been used throughout history. This knowledge can empower us to protect ourselves from being exploited and to navigate the social landscape with greater confidence and control. The parallels between historical events and contemporary social dynamics extend beyond grand strategies to encompass subtle psychological techniques. For instance, the concept of plausible deniability has been used by political leaders and military commanders for centuries to distance themselves from controversial actions. By creating a situation where they can deny involvement in wrongdoing, they can avoid taking responsibility and protect their reputations. This same tactic is used in everyday social interactions, where people might make ambiguous statements or give indirect instructions to avoid being held accountable for the consequences of their actions. Similarly, the use of scapegoating has been a recurring theme throughout history. When faced with problems or crises, leaders often seek to deflect blame by identifying a scapegoat, an individual or group that can be held responsible for the problems. This tactic can be used to unite people against a common enemy and divert attention from the real causes of the problems. In social situations, people might use scapegoating to avoid taking responsibility for their own mistakes or to deflect criticism onto others. By understanding these psychological techniques, we can become more aware of how they are used to manipulate us and take steps to protect ourselves from their influence. The key to unmasking hidden agendas lies in developing a critical mindset and a willingness to question everything. Don't take things at face value. Look for inconsistencies, contradictions, and hidden motives. Pay attention to body language, tone of voice, and other nonverbal cues. These subtle signals can often reveal more than words. Be wary of flattery and excessive praise. Manipulators often use flattery to lower their target's defenses and make them more susceptible to suggestion. Remember that everyone has an agenda, even if they are not consciously aware of it. Try to understand what motivates the other person and what they are trying to achieve. By understanding their underlying goals, you can better anticipate their actions and protect yourself from being manipulated. The constant vigilance required to unmask hidden agendas can be challenging, but it is essential for navigating the complex social landscape and protecting yourself from being exploited. By studying history, understanding psychological techniques, and developing a critical mindset, you can empower yourself to see through the masks that people wear and to make informed decisions about who to trust. The power to recognize hidden agendas is the power to control your own destiny. It is the power to navigate the social world with confidence and integrity. It is the power to protect yourself from those who would seek to take advantage of you. Embrace this power, and you will be well equipped to thrive in any social environment. Think of the Cold War, a decades-long standoff characterized by espionage, propaganda, and proxy conflicts. Both the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in elaborate schemes to undermine each other's influence and gain a strategic advantage. They used covert operations to destabilize governments, spread disinformation to sway public opinion, and support rebel groups to fight their battles by proxy. These tactics, while extreme, illustrate the lengths to which people will go to achieve their goals and the importance of being aware of hidden agendas. In the business world, the acquisition of one company by another can often be a complex and manipulative process. The acquiring company may present the deal as a win-win situation, promising synergies and benefits for both sides. However, the reality may be that the acquiring company is primarily interested in eliminating competition, gaining access to valuable assets, or stripping the acquired company of its resources. Employees of the acquired company may be promised job security, but after the acquisition is complete, they may find themselves being laid off or forced to accept lower wages and benefits. The key to navigating these situations is to be skeptical of promises and to look beyond the surface to understand the underlying motivations of the parties involved. In personal relationships, hidden agendas can manifest in subtle ways. A friend who is always asking for favors may have a hidden agenda of exploiting your generosity. A partner who is excessively jealous or controlling may have a hidden agenda of manipulating your behavior. The key is to be aware of these patterns and to set boundaries to protect yourself from being taken advantage of. The ability to unmask hidden agendas is not just about protecting yourself. It is also about building stronger and more authentic relationships. When you are able to see through the masks that people wear, you can connect with them on a deeper level and build relationships based on trust and mutual respect. This requires empathy, compassion, and a willingness to understand the other person's perspective. It also requires the courage to confront difficult truths and to challenge manipulative behavior. The journey to unmasking hidden agendas is a lifelong process of learning, observing, and reflecting. It requires constant vigilance, a critical mindset, and a deep understanding of human nature. But the rewards are well worth the effort. By mastering this skill, you can protect yourself from being exploited, navigate the social landscape with confidence, and build stronger, more authentic relationships. Remember, the world is a complex and often deceptive place, But with knowledge, awareness, and a willingness to question everything, you can uncover the hidden agendas that lie beneath the surface and create a more just and equitable world for yourself and others. The skills we discuss are not merely theoretical concepts. They are practical tools that can be applied to every aspect of your life. From negotiating a salary to navigating office politics to building meaningful relationships, the ability to unmask hidden agendas is essential for success and fulfillment. The human mind, a landscape of both light and shadow, is where hidden agendas take root and flourish. Understanding the underlying psychology is paramount to identifying and neutralizing these covert intentions. At the core of many hidden agendas lies the fundamental human desire for power, control, and validation. People often seek to manipulate situations and relationships to achieve these goals, even if it means resorting to deception or exploitation. This drive for dominance can stem from various sources, including insecurity, fear, and a deep-seated need to feel superior. Recognizing these underlying motivations is the first step in unmasking hidden agendas. By understanding what someone is trying to achieve, you can begin to anticipate their actions and see through their manipulations. Cognitive biases, those inherent flaws in our thinking, also play a significant role in the proliferation of hidden agendas. Confirmation bias, for example, leads us to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs, making us more susceptible to manipulation. The availability heuristic causes us to overestimate the likelihood of events that are easily recalled, such as those that are emotionally charged or highly publicized. And the halo effect leads us to form positive impressions of people based on a single positive trait, making us less likely to see their flaws. These biases can cloud our judgment and make us vulnerable to hidden agendas. Emotional manipulation is a powerful tool used by those seeking to advance their own interests at the expense of others. Guilt tripping, gaslighting, and playing the victim are all common tactics used to manipulate emotions and control behavior. By understanding these techniques, you can become more resistant to their effects and protect yourself from being emotionally manipulated. Projecting their own feelings and flaws onto others is another common manipulation tactic. Recognizing when someone is projecting can help you avoid taking responsibility for their issues and protect yourself from their negativity. The psychology of persuasion is also essential to understanding how hidden agendas operate. Understanding how people are influenced and persuaded allows you to recognize when someone is trying to manipulate you through persuasive techniques. This includes being aware of the different types of persuasive appeals, such as appeals to emotion, logic, and authority, and understanding how these appeals can be used to influence your behavior. Moreover, the concept of cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort experienced when holding conflicting beliefs, can be exploited by those with hidden agendas. People are often willing to change their beliefs or behaviors to reduce this dissonance, making them susceptible to manipulation. By being aware of this phenomenon, you can be more mindful of your own cognitive processes and avoid making decisions that are not in your best interest. Finally, remember that self-awareness is your greatest defense against hidden agendas. By understanding your own biases, vulnerabilities, and emotional triggers, you can become more resistant to manipulation and protect yourself from being taken advantage of. Cultivating a critical mindset, questioning assumptions, and seeking out diverse perspectives are also essential for unmasking hidden agendas and navigating the complex social landscape with confidence and clarity. The ability to recognize these patterns of behavior is crucial for protecting your personal and professional boundaries. By understanding the psychology behind hidden agendas, you are better equipped to identify and respond to manipulative tactics, creating healthier and more authentic interactions. Imagine a seemingly innocuous scenario. A new project is announced at work. Sarah, a colleague known for her ambition and charm, approaches you with an air of collaborative enthusiasm. She suggests you two team up, painting a vivid picture of shared success and mutual benefit. She highlights your unique skills, emphasizing how perfectly they complement hers, creating a compelling narrative of synergy. At first glance, it seems like a golden opportunity, a chance to shine and advance your career alongside a seemingly supportive ally. However, beneath the surface of Sarah's persuasive overtures lies a carefully concealed agenda. Her intention isn't genuine collaboration, but rather strategic positioning. She recognizes your talent, not to celebrate it, but to leverage it for her own personal gain. She envisions you doing the bulk of the work, while she reaps the majority of the credit, skillfully maneuvering herself into a leadership role based on your efforts. She might subtly downplay your contributions during meetings, subtly steering the conversation to highlight her own involvement and insights, carefully constructing a narrative where she emerges as the key driver of the project's success. Furthermore, she might employ subtle tactics of flattery and ingratiation, appealing to your ego and desire for recognition, making you feel valued and appreciated, while simultaneously manipulating you into accepting a disproportionate share of the workload. She might say things like, "You're so much better at this than I am," or "I trust your judgment implicitly on this aspect," knowing that these compliments will subtly obligate you to deliver beyond expectations. This seemingly innocent alliance is, in reality, a calculated power play, a covert attempt to exploit your skills and ambition to further her own career trajectory. To unmask this hidden agenda, you need to look beyond the surface charm and analyze the underlying motivations. Pay attention to the distribution of tasks, the allocation of credit, and the overall power dynamics within the supposed partnership. Are your ideas truly being valued, or are they being subtly appropriated and repackaged as Sarah's own? Is the workload being shared equitably, or are you consistently finding yourself doing more than your fair share? Observe her interactions with other colleagues. Does she exhibit similar patterns of behavior, strategically aligning herself with talented individuals to advance her own agenda? Look for inconsistencies between her words and her actions. Does she profess to value collaboration and teamwork, while simultaneously engaging in subtle acts of self-promotion and credit grabbing? Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't dismiss your gut feelings simply because Sarah is charismatic and persuasive. Remember that manipulation often operates on a subconscious level, exploiting your emotions and vulnerabilities to cloud your judgment. Once you recognize the hidden agenda, you can take steps to protect yourself. Set clear boundaries, define your roles and responsibilities explicitly, and document your contributions meticulously. Don't be afraid to assert yourself and advocate for your own ideas and accomplishments. If necessary, seek the support of trusted colleagues or supervisors who can provide an objective perspective and help you navigate the situation. The key is to remain vigilant, to question assumptions, and to never underestimate the power of a hidden agenda. By understanding the psychology behind these manipulative tactics, you can protect yourself from being exploited and maintain control over your own career path. This also includes documenting all interactions and contributions, creating a clear record of your work. Moreover, it involves having open and honest conversations with Sarah about your expectations and concerns, addressing any imbalances in the workload or credit allocation. By proactively communicating your needs and setting boundaries, you can mitigate the risk of being taken advantage of. However, if Sarah continues to exhibit manipulative behavior despite your efforts, it may be necessary to distance yourself from the partnership and seek alternative opportunities that align with your values and professional goals. Remember, your well-being and career advancement should not come at the expense of being exploited or manipulated. The ability to discern hidden agendas is not merely about self-preservation. It's about gaining a deeper understanding of human behavior itself. It's about recognizing that every interaction is a complex dance of motivations, desires, and fears. People often conceal their true intentions not necessarily out of malice, but out of a primal urge to protect themselves, to secure resources, or to gain an advantage in a competitive environment. Understanding this underlying drive allows you to approach social situations with empathy and strategic awareness, anticipating potential pitfalls and navigating them with finesse. It requires a constant calibration of your own perceptions, a willingness to challenge your assumptions, and a commitment to seeking out the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. This means observing not just what people say, but how they say it, paying attention to their body language, their tone of voice, and the subtle inconsistencies in their stories. It also means understanding your own biases and vulnerabilities, recognizing the ways in which your own emotions and desires can be exploited to manipulate your decisions. In the end, mastering this skill is about becoming a more astute observer of human nature, a more strategic thinker, and a more resilient individual. It's about recognizing the power dynamics at play in every interaction and ensuring that you are not simply a pawn in someone else's game. It's about taking control of your own narrative and shaping your own destiny. Remember that hidden agendas often thrive in environments of ambiguity and uncertainty. So seek clarity, ask direct questions, challenge assumptions, demand transparency. By doing so, you not only expose the hidden agendas of others, but also create a space for more authentic and meaningful connections. Cultivate relationships built on trust and mutual respect, where open communication is valued and hidden agendas are discouraged. Seek out individuals who demonstrate integrity, empathy, and a genuine interest in your well-being. These are the allies who will support you in navigating the complex social landscape and protecting yourself from manipulation. And never underestimate the power of intuition. Often, your subconscious mind picks up on subtle cues that your conscious mind misses. Trust your gut feeling, even when you can't quite articulate why. Your intuition is a valuable tool in detecting hidden agendas and protecting yourself from harm. Hone this skill through mindfulness practices, self-reflection, and a willingness to listen to your inner voice. Because the world is a complex tapestry of hidden motives and unspoken desires, and only by mastering the art of perception can you truly navigate it with confidence and